the United States and Russia have announced a joint air command that will hit terrorist targets in Syria. I'm going to run through what this agreement means. Now, I'm quoting from Juan Cole. This is an agreement that was announced on Friday by Secretary Kerry and Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. Number one, Syrian air forces stop bombing cities, including Aleppo and Homs. Number two, humanitarian aid is allowed to reach millions of civilians. Number three, Russia will also stop its bombing campaign on all groups except for Daesh, IS, ISIL. And once these steps have been taken, the U.S. will join Russia in bombing positions of the army of Syrian conquest, which is Jabhat al-Nusra, which is the Al-Qaeda affiliated group, whose leader is loyal to Al-Qaeda. Now, reading on. What is now elaborated and a little unexpected is that if this agreement holds for a week, the U.S. has agreed to establish a joint Air Force Operations Center to coordinate airstrikes on ISIL and on Al-Qaeda. Now, the things that are challenging about this, not with regards to ISIS, but with regards to Jabhat al-Nusra, is how close the 30 vetted, approved Syrian opposition groups that the CIA and the United States approves of, the CIA has vetted, how close are they to Jabhat al-Nusra? And how sort of sharp a distinction you can make. This has already been a problem going back from the beginning of the conflict, especially going back to 2012 when we just sort of outsourced arms allocation to Syria to Sunni states. So that's a major issue. Number two, the United States military has complained that during a previous ceasefire that Russia used it to sort of advance itself and exploit openings, and even in ways that actually jeopardized U.S. forces. And it's obvious that as brutal and as horrific as it's been, that Assad's strategy has worked. And it's worked for a variety of reasons. It's worked because there's genuine support, obviously, and real institutional base for Assad in Syria. It works because there wasn't an underlying joint framework at the beginning to actually solve the problems of Syria that would include the very legitimate and important concerns of people like Alawites and Shiites, which are Assad protects to some degree. And Assad was able to pick his enemy. I mean, a lot of people will say that this had no legitimacy, that this had nothing to do with a genuine grassroots uprising, but it did. And in the beginning, Assad released jihadists from the prisons. He knew if you had an opposition dominated by groups like Jabhat al-Nusra and ISIL, that the focus would shift on him, even as he committed human rights atrocities. And of course, all groups operating, including us, everyone, has committed human rights violations in Syria. But Assad is still a prime defender. They knew that if they shifted the attention and created that environment, that it would shift from them. And it's worked.
Hey, folks, Sam Seder here. I just got back from a company-wide meeting. Accounting is really coming down on me hard. We need to get to 100,000 subscribers as soon as possible. So please enjoy this channel. Subscribe right down there.